It doesn't feel like 1 hour could decide a year, but it does. There's a moment, barely noticeable, between the second you wake up and the second you reach for your phone. It's quiet, empty, free, and in that space, a decision is made, not with words, but with what you choose to give your energy to first. For most people, that first hour disappears before they're even conscious of it. They wake up late, scroll, rush, react. They're behind before they even begin. And the worst part? It doesn't feel catastrophic. It feels normal, because it's what they've done for days, weeks, months. And so the pattern repeats, not because they're lazy, but because they've let the world train them to believe that the first hour doesn't matter. But it does, because that 1 hour, repeated 365 times, becomes the rhythm of your life. It becomes the silent architecture of your beliefs, your focus, your direction. And if you're not choosing it on purpose, it's choosing for you. No matter what you tell yourself about goals, vision, or change, if your morning belongs to chaos, you'll never break free from the cycle. This isn't about perfection. It's about authorship. And if something in you is done repeating the same year over and over, if you're done starting every day in reaction, if you want to move forward with clarity instead of circles, then this space is for you. Not for hacks, not for hustle, but for quiet rebellion. If you're ready to lead your life from the first hour, not follow it, subscribe now. Because 1 hour won't just change your morning. It might just change your life. It's easy to look at a whole year and feel overwhelmed. 12 months, dozens of goals, 100 good intentions. But it never starts with all of that. It starts with how you handle the first hour of your day. That one decision, how you enter your morning, becomes the blueprint for how you engage with the rest of your life. It's not about checking off boxes or waking up at 5 a.m. because a podcast said so. It's about ownership. Every year that feels wasted didn't vanish all at once. It dissolved slowly, silently, in mornings that were handed over too easily. To urgency, to distraction, to someone else's priorities. And what most people don't realize is that when you give away the beginning, you lose control of the middle and the end. The first hour is where your values become visible. Not the values you talk about, the ones you live. Because in that quiet space, before the world speaks, your choices are unfiltered. Do you reach for alignment or avoidance? Clarity or noise? Creation or consumption? The truth is, your life doesn't need more noise. It needs more direction. And direction begins where autopilot ends. The reason so many people feel stuck isn't because they lack talent or ambition. It's because they keep postponing alignment. They keep hoping that someday they'll feel ready, while ignoring the one opportunity they do have, this hour. This isn't about becoming a morning person. It's about becoming a present person. When you claim the first hour of your day with purpose, the rest of your day learns to follow. And that, slowly, quietly, is how your life changes. One morning at a time, 1 hour at a time, one conscious beginning, before the rest begins. Stephen Covey didn't just teach time management. He taught self-leadership, the kind that begins in the spaces no one else sees. He believed that private victories always come before public ones. That the most powerful changes don't happen in front of others, they happen when no one's watching. And the first hour of your day? That's the most private moment of all. Covey's first habit, be proactive, wasn't about doing more. It was about realizing that your power lies in choice. That between stimulus and response, there's a space. And in that space, you decide who you are, how you show up, what you allow. Most people begin their day inside someone else's urgency. They let messages, tasks, and headlines dictate their mindset before they've even spoken a word to themselves. They live in reaction and then wonder why their life feels out of alignment. But Covey warned us, if you don't choose to do what is important, you'll end up doing what is urgent. That first hour is where the choosing begins. It's where you draw a line between who you've been and who you're becoming. Another core principle from Covey was begin with the end in mind. He wasn't talking about goals. He was talking about legacy, about waking up and asking, what kind of person do I want to be remembered as? And then letting that answer guide the next 60 minutes, not just the next year. The truth is, when you treat the first hour as sacred, you activate every other habit Covey taught. You prioritize what matters. You center yourself in principle. You lead your day instead of following it blindly. Because leadership doesn't begin in the boardroom. It begins in your bedroom in that quiet moment before the world wakes up. And when you lead yourself well, consistently, quietly, your life begins to align without force. So now I ask you, what have your mornings really been saying about your priorities? Drop it in the comments. No pressure, just honesty. That's where clarity begins. Let's get real. You don't need a complicated morning ritual. You don't need 10 steps, 5 apps, or a productivity guru whispering in your ear. You need a small, deliberate pause and a decision. The first hour of your day isn't about doing more. It's about starting with who you want to be. Here's what that looks like in real life. Set your alarm 30 minutes earlier, not to get ahead of others, but to reconnect with yourself before the noise begins. Before you reach for your phone, reach for clarity. Sit up. Breathe. Put your feet on the floor slowly. Let your mind catch up to your body. Then ask one question. What kind of person do I want to be today? Not what you want to achieve. Not what you have to do, but who you're choosing to become. Write the answer down. Keep it simple. One sentence. Something like, today, I lead with patience. Or today, I move with focus. That single sentence becomes your compass. Then, take one action, just one, that aligns with that identity. Read a page from a book that sharpens you. Journal a single reflection. Stretch, walk, or sit in stillness for 10 minutes. Don't do it to feel productive. Do it to feel present. Even if the rest of your day spirals, that hour becomes your anchor. And here's a tip from Covey's playbook. Schedule your priorities. Don't prioritize your schedule. That means protecting this hour like it's non-negotiable. Because it is. It's a meeting with the person you're becoming. And you don't cancel that. If you have kids, start before they wake up. If you work early, claim whatever time you can. It's not about perfection. It's about pattern. When this hour is grounded in clarity and presence, your day doesn't just improve. It transforms. And when you do this daily, the compounding effect is profound. This is where it starts. Not with more effort, but with more intention. 1 hour. Fully yours. Used wisely. Be honest. What have your mornings really been saying about you? Not the version you show online. Not the version you planned for. The real version, the one that wakes up tired, mentally and emotionally, before the day even begins. The one that reaches for the phone before taking a breath. That rushes into activity, not out of purpose, but out of habit. The one that says, I don't have time, even when deep down, you know that's not the full truth. Sometimes, it's not about not knowing what to do. It's about not trusting yourself to do it. Because how many times have you said, tomorrow I'll start, only to let tomorrow come and go? It's not laziness. It's the quiet residue of promises broken with yourself. And over time, that leaves a mark, not loud, not dramatic, just a subtle ache. A sense that you're drifting further from the person you swore you'd become. But here's the thing no one tells you. That version of you, the one you're tired of being, isn't fixed. It's not who you are. It's who you've practiced being. And practice can change. You don't need to fix everything today. You just need to stop lying to yourself about how much this hour matters. Because every time you ignore it, you're not just losing time, you're losing trust. So pause for a moment. No performance, no pressure, just honesty. Ask yourself, what have I been avoiding in the first hour of my day? What story have I been repeating to feel safe, even if it's keeping me stuck? And what would change if I started showing up quietly before the world could interrupt? If something in this touched something real in you, if it made you feel seen, even for a second, leave a like. Not for me, for you, as a quiet signal. I'm ready to stop pretending and start returning. Something shifts when you stop waking up to survive and start waking up to lead. Because the goal of the first hour isn't just to feel better. It's to remember who you are when no one is watching. When you reclaim that hour over and over, you're no longer just adjusting your routine. You're rewriting your identity. You're not just the person who wants more clarity. You're the one who creates it. You're not just someone who tries to be consistent. You are consistent because your choices now match your truth. This isn't about motivation. It's about becoming the kind of person who doesn't need to be convinced to show up. It's who you are now. Your mornings stop being a battle. They become a return to values, to discipline, to presence. You begin to trust yourself again, not because of what you accomplish, but because you keep showing up for what matters before the world can take it from you. This is the kind of transformation no one applauds at first, because it's quiet, invisible, unsexy. But over time, it builds something deeper than success. It builds integrity. You become the kind of person who protects what's sacred, who speaks less but with more weight, who chooses alignment over urgency, not once, but repeatedly. And slowly, the world starts to reflect that back. People notice something different in your presence. Opportunities begin to match your energy. Peace becomes more familiar than pressure. But none of that happens by chance. It happens when you stop outsourcing your life to circumstance and start reclaiming it, one conscious hour at a time. And that's the beauty of identity work. You don't have to try to be the kind of person who shows up. You are that person because you decided to become them. Before the world opened its mouth, there comes a moment, quiet, almost invisible, when you realize your life isn't defined by big turning points, but by small, repeated choices no one ever sees. Not the career changes, not the resolutions, but the way you begin. Each day, each hour, each breath, and suddenly it clicks. Your future isn't waiting for you on some far-off mountain. It's already here, woven into the fabric of your morning. Not in what you plan, but in what you prioritize. This is where alignment begins. In silence, in stillness, in a quiet moment before the world starts spinning, when you decide not to forget yourself. You don't need another loud goal. You don't need to prove anything. You just need to remember. Remember that the most powerful shift doesn't happen in your results. It happens in your rhythm. When you begin each day with clarity, with presence, with intention, you're not chasing a better life anymore. You're creating it, not because the world gave you permission, but because you gave it to yourself. So now pause, not to finish this video, but to breathe, to return. Return to the choice that's always been waiting for you. To show up before the noise, to move before the world pulls you back, to lead from the inside, not because it's easy, but because it's who you've decided to be. And if something inside you shifted while watching this, if even one sentence felt like a mirror, then take the next quiet step. Subscribe, not just for content, but to stay connected to this message, so it can reach more people who need it as much as you do. Because the path you're on isn't built with pressure. It's built with presence. And presence begins in the first hour, always.